A lot has been going on in the UFC world, so keep up as we hit these news topics. First, we follow the Nicco Montano story and how she was brutally assaulted. Then we tap in on news regarding Nunes versus Pena. Then we tune into Dustin Poirier versus Charles Oliveira. Afterwards, things get heated as we get into the drama between Cody Garbrandt and Sean O'Malley. And lastly, we look into the feud between Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz. Stay tuned for all the inside news. First things first, Nicco Montano hospitalized after brutal assault. In the early morning of December 1st, Austin, Texas police responded to a call claiming a woman was badly beaten and her assailant was sharing the hotel room with her. The man who accompanied Nicco to the bar became jealous as they sat at the hotel bar. The reasons for his jealousy are unknown and his identity isn't known as well. Upon the pair returning to the room, her attacker started stomping on her neck and kicking her in the face. Nicco managed to escape long enough for her to scream for help before getting pulled back by the assailant. Her cries for help were answered when a member staying at the hotel came to her aid and immediately called police. The name of the said attacker has been removed from all social media, leaving people wondering who it could have been. His name was pulled from the media because it hasn't been confirmed that he is guilty yet. Could the pair have been somewhat of a couple, or could the two have just paired up for the night of fun? Fans of the UFC fighter demand to know the identity of her attacker in hopes of bringing justice to Nicco. Nicco's set to recover as she returns home to be with family in New Mexico this very week. We send best wishes to the ex-UFC fighter for a quick recovery. Could Nicco Montano return to fighting, or could her injuries hold long-term effects that would prevent her from performing well as a fighter? And just what is it that had her attacker on edge? Next, Nunes versus Pena. The two female UFC fighters took to the ring on December 11th as the co-main event fight. Amanda Nunes put the bantamweight title on the line that she won back in 2016 from Miesha Tate. Nunes has been quite the contender ever since as she took down the former champ. Nunes also claims that Pena isn't a real contender in her eyes. Nunes has been a lone contestant for the past decade or so, fending off challengers in 2 weight classes. She's also beaten some great rivals, including Chris Cyborg and Ronda Rousey, but she's only fought a handful of times since 2017. Could Nunes still pack the punch needed to take out her opponent, or has she become rusty meanwhile? Nunes and Pena both claim on multiple occasions that the other had skipped out on meetings with each other before. Both claim that they were supposed to battle each other earlier on than when they did, but due to each side ghosting when the time came, it was prolonged until now. The constant bickering and backtalk shared between the two was met with a match. The two both put up a great fight, but Juliana Pena came out with the win in round 2. Pena immediately offers Nunes a chance at a rematch following her upset victory. Nunes told the press it was a tough loss and that it was taking time to settle in. Can we see the two come together for another fight in the future, or will Nunes remain the unspoken winner between the two? I think it's safe to say fans want to see a rematch take place. With Pena offering a rematch, we hope to see a future date set for another matchup. Juliana Pena savors this win, claiming she's the first real mom champ. It's also said that Juliana's win over Amanda cost Nunes a $1 million fight against Kayla Harrison. The fight outcome that stunned the world of MMA was one of the most entertaining fights seen yet. Now, for Dustin Poirier versus Charles Oliveira. Dustin, otherwise known as the Diamond, met Charles the Bronx in the ring on December 11th. Dustin, the 32-year-old Louisiana native, has gone 20-5 in the octagon, defeating former champs and holding his own. Some former champs he's taken down have included Anthony Pettis, Max Holloway, and Conor McGregor. He made it to the UFC a year after his opponent Oliveira did in 2011. Prior to the showdown, he had a total of 34 fights with 28 wins and 6 losses. Now we talk about Charles, the 32-year-old Brazil native who reached the UFC in 2010, with fights dating back to 2008. He's defeated Hatsu Hioki, Miles Jury, Jim Miller, and Tony Ferguson. His most important win happened during UFC 262 when he defeated Michael Chandler and became the lightweight champion. He's had a total of 39 fights with 31 wins and 8 losses. The two dueled it out and the fight lasted until round 3 when Charles took the win. Dustin tells reporters how heartbroken he was after he got choked out by Charles. Michael Chandler even reacts to the fight saying Poirier gave a good effort. Can we see a rematch take place? And who else can we see each fighter go up against in the future? Both parties take with them the teachings of this fight. Poirier retreats back to the practice rink, figuring out new maneuvers and ways to overcome the moves that took him down in this fight, while Oliveira savors this win and continues on his way as the champ. Up next, Cody Garbrandt versus Sean O'Malley. At a press event this last week, the two exchanged words and things quickly escalated as shots at one another were sent. Although the pair aren't set for a fight, fans wonder if now one may be scheduled. First, we meet Cody, a fighter with a career total of 16 fights, totaling 12 wins and 4 losses. The Ohio native, also nicknamed No Love, claims O'Malley hasn't fought anyone and that the hype about him has died. He continues by saying Sean is just trying to build hype. I get it, he has to put on a front for his fans and sponsors, says Cody, but once the hype dies and money goes away, you'll get your butt beat. Cody relayed he didn't want to start up an argument with O'Malley this close to his fight with Kai Kara. Cody would lose to Kai in just the first round and 3 minutes and 21 seconds in. Sean snaps back at Cody saying he's only won one fight since 2017, referring to his 1-4 record record for the past 5 fights. Sean wanted to give a preview of a potential fight between the two, charged over to Cody getting face-to-face. Sean told Dana White to use pictures snapped of the two up close as an ad for an upcoming fight between them. The Montana native is struck down by Dana White, who claims Sean isn't ready to face top contenders yet. Sean went on to beat Rolian Paiva in round 1, 4 minutes and 42 seconds into the fight. Could we see a matchup between Cody and Sean happen one day? Fans would love to see these two pitted against each other and hope Dana White permits the two to battle each other. Lastly, Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz. In March of 2016, Nate defeated Conor in round 2 at 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Later that August, McGregor would take the win in round 5 at 5 minutes. The two have feuded with each other ever since, but recently both sent shots at Dustin Poirier, who recently took a loss against Oliveira. Conor has hate for Dustin, given that Poirier is 2-1 against McGregor and spent the majority of 2021 ruining his career. No wonder he was bitter towards Poirier. Nate even took to Twitter saying how Dustin beat Conor and that both the fighters weren't improving. Conor fired back, claiming he knocked Dustin around, but in the end, Dustin landed 2 definitive lucky shots. Nate's in a state of limbo with just 1 fight left on his contract. It's rumored he'll be benched long enough for a McGregor versus Nate Diaz fight to take place. Many await a third fight, so I'm sure we'll see them in a matchup in the future. And there you have it on the latest UFC news. Will you be anticipating another fight between Nunes and Pena? Maybe we'll see Dustin and Charles meet in the ring once again in the future. Will things get heated enough and gain enough publicity to see Garbrandt and OMalley hit the ring? And maybe, just maybe, this coming year, we'll see Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz in a third fight to settle the question, who is the reigning champ between them? And the biggest question of all will be Nicco Montano returning to the ring and how soon we can expect to see her back. Thanks for watching.